Hey guys, welcome back, or I should say, welcome myself back. It's been a while since I've done any of these. 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I had to move, so I'm in a new place. You can see behind me the setting has changed. The place I was staying sold. I was, a house sitter there, and I had to get an apartment. So I have roommates now, which is really weird for me. And because of the move, my setup got all torn down, and I just got everything set back up just the way I want it. It's been a slow process, so I'm back. I don't even remember where I was, actually. I know I was on Westward Shore when we were doing speed mixing. I have come in here and made a few changes, just kind of puttering around. So I apologize if things are different, if the continuity from the last episode to this episode isn't, the continuity has been lost. I apologize about that. I'm just going to continue going forward with this mix and try to get it finished. On a personal note, I know at the beginning of all the previous videos I would give a little, 2-minute thing spiel about myself. So I'm on my second challenge now, the weight loss challenge. It's a 60-day, it's not 60 days, it's 6 weeks. It's a 6-week, 20-pound challenge, and I'm on my second one. At my last weigh-in, I was at a total of 17 pounds for this challenge, on top of 28 pounds for the previous one. So I'm closing in on 30 pounds. Feels awesome. If you go back and watch some of the early episodes of Mix with a Newb, which is a different series, I'm at the very beginning of the challenge, and you might be able to tell the difference in my size. I mean, I still have a lot to go. I still have more than 100 pounds to lose, but anyway, that's what's going on with me. I just finished another workout. I'm at the point now where I have to work out every single day until the end of the challenge. The move threw me off. Some things threw me off that made me miss a bunch of days early on. You have to get 30 days in the 42-day period. You have to get 30 workouts, 1 per day. And they don't let you double up, because I asked, if I miss a day, can I make up and do 2 in 1 day? They said no. So that's where I'm at. I got to work out every single day until the end of the challenge. 9 more to go for this 42-day period. I'm going to go into a third challenge and try to lose another 20 beyond that. So hopefully hitting about 70 pounds of loss by the end of, April, May. So it'll be somewhere in the middle of May, from the beginning of January to the middle of May, about 70 pounds. So, all right, let's get into this mix. So one of the big things that I finally decided was that I'm just going to do drum replacement and not lie to my bandmates about it, not try to cover it up. The thing was a post that I made asking for help tuning the drums up, and a couple of the comments were like, just do sample replacement. There's no shame in it. Despite what Glenn Fricker from SMG, from his channel, he's totally against snare and drum replacement triggers. He's against all that. He wants natural drums, real drum performances. That doesn't work for everybody. What I told my bandmates, I made them a quick update video, and I need to do one of those every couple of weeks so they have something to watch and feel like, okay, things are moving forward. I told them that in the song Down Again, I began chopping up the kick placement. I started with the kick. Once you start adjusting the kick, then the snare needs to follow suit. The snare needs to hit correctly with the kick. So once you've chopped everything up to that degree, it's a natural step to just go to trigger, because now you've altered the natural sound to a certain degree. It's hard to think of an analogy. It's like you've already chopped it up into pieces. You might as well try to put it back together in a better way. So I'm okay with drum sample replacement now. I've come to terms with it. The trick now is to make it sound good. So let's listen to the drums just for a minute here. Okay, so right there I heard something weird, and I think one of the things that's really challenging is your gates. Alright, so something weird happens right there, like early on. Right? There's that double, weird little double hit right there. There is. It sounds fine in the mix. Like it fits kind of. I mean, it's. Okay, so right there, I hear some. We're missing some snare hits are missing for some reason there. God, what is the? Now I don't know if that's the way he played it. No, that's just the gate. I think that's just the gate missing it. Okay, because this should be steady snare hits the whole time. So the thing that I've been doing is I'm going to normalize these just so we get consistent peaks, you know, more consistent peaks. Let's see how that sounds. So right away that snare I don't really like. It needs more reverb. The thing that I've learned is that you absolutely have to EQ your reverb. Absolutely have to do it. Oops, why did I put another reverb on that? I have a little bit of gym brain going on from working out, and I'm not completely hydrated, so I needed to keep drinking water while I'm doing this. I'm sorry if you got too many mouth sounds there, but what I read recently about EQ was you really want to roll off the highs and lows, and I don't know if this is too extreme, but it seems to sound okay. The article I read suggested 10K at the top and 500 at the bottom, and let's hear what that sounds like. Am I even getting any snare verb? Let's see here. Okay, that's probably too much. Okay, I have the gate. I think I have the gate on the wrong side. Yeah, here we go. Well, okay. The reason I'm doing this is I've been trying to read a lot about reverb and try to understand how you shape it and how it affects. Reverb can make such a huge difference in the way certain things sound, especially snare. I mean, obviously everything it touches changes when you throw reverb on there. Vocals. I guess for me, the thing I'm struggling with the most is vocals and snare with reverb. Like this, for some reason, now stopped making. Okay, maybe this is not. It's not holding long enough. That's it. That's what it is, I think. Okay, way too much. So this is what I mean with shaping. You can completely bypass the verb. I don't know why I keep manually doing this when I just set it to a loop. Come on. All right. Completely bypass the verb. Completely dry signal. Start to make it wet, and then So that to me is way overkill, but I'm just gonna, as a demonstration. Yeah, way too much. I guess what I keep reading also is that you want to be really, really subtle with the reverb. That the one article said, find where you think it sounds good and then go 4 dB less than that. And that to me it sounded extreme, but that's their advice. That's them saying you need to be super judicial with your reverb on your snare. I don't know why. See, now I'm not getting any of it. I wonder about my routing here. Top snare. No, this sounds right. It's going, yeah. Okay, so what I have going on, I think, is that I still have the natural drum sound and I have the trigger on top of it. And so what I think I need to experiment with here is... this always trips me up because I definitely need it to trigger, but I don't want it to... I'm wondering if I can just kill the... if I can just make it... What I want to try to do is just hear how the sample by itself would sound without the natural snare sound, and if that's more ideal or less ideal than blending the two. Because there's times you can hear it where I'm getting like a doubled hit, or I just don't want. I think ultimately what I do want is just the sample, just MIDI. So output, let's see here, we're going to arm this and we're going to do input MIDI and output record MIDI, record output, record MIDI. I think that does it. Yeah, this, I've had to experiment with this and I'm not quite sure if I know. Let me see if I'm getting MIDI yet. No, I'm not getting MIDI. Okay, so this is actually just going to be input. Yeah, this is just going to be, yeah, okay, so it's going to output MIDI. There it goes. Are those actual MIDI notes? No. Okay, see, I'm still getting audio. Okay, I need to figure this out. I guess what I do, because this is what sends the MIDI out. So let me make sure. Record input stereo, record output, record output MIDI. Here, I believe this is what I need to do. Let's test it. There we go. There's my MIDI points. Okay. All right. This is where I wish I had more time to edit the videos later and speed this part up so you don't have to sit here and painfully watch all of these. See, ooh, this is the trouble with my gate, I believe, is missing. Well, okay, no, because this is the kick up here, so I need to, okay, that's fine. So I think I'm good. Yeah, that should be fine. Save all. Okay, so now we have the MIDI in there. This is, I want to hear this here real quick because sometimes, because I'm such a terrible actual sound engineer, let's see what I got here. Snare bus. Good, that is a snare hit. Okay, we got it. It's up there. Okay. All right. So you actually can just turn these completely off now that we have the MIDI. I don't want to hear that. I just want to hear this. So actually now you don't need the MIDI just trigger. It should just trigger itself. Okay. That's what I want now. Let's take a look at this because we don't need all of these. Yeah, Yeah, we don't need the. Let me go to the routing matrix here. Isn't it Alt R? There it is. All right, so let's go take a look at what our snare is doing here. Snare trigger to. Snare trigger. Snare bus. Snare trigger. Top, bottom. Yeah, we don't need any of this now. Top snare to snare bus and snare trigger. All we need is snare trigger to the verb and snare verb to snare bus. There we go. Yeah, this should work. And then snare bus should be going to drum bus. Snare bus, drum bus. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now we have our verb, but it's sounding bad because of the gate. That might just be too much. And that's what EQ does to it. It makes it. That's without that roll off, and it just cleans it up, makes it crisp. Now I did this on down again on the other mix, and it kind of almost takes the life out of the snare a little bit. Let's unarm that. But you can actually put more life in the snare. I've actually experimented with automating this. Let's try it. Let's just try it. Oops. Okay, so we wiggle this. So we're going to do parameter modulation, and we're going to do a LFO, which is low frequency oscillation. So we're going to actually go slower than that. And we don't need it to be that, it doesn't have to be that high up. So let's go negative. We just want this to kind of bounce around a little bit. Centered maybe? There we go. Okay. Yeah, and that's too much. So let's turn the strength down. This will give it a natural sound. This will, to me, to my ear. There we go. That's probably close. And we can, as you know, we'll modify that a little. I'll modify that a little more. And what that does is it lets it not. It keeps it from sounding too robotic. We can also adjust this release too to bounce up and down. I have messed with the attack, but then that makes it sound like way inconsistent. All right, so you can hear how much shorter and longer it gets. So that's probably too much modulation. So okay, the trouble with this is it's hard to grab onto it again now that it's. I hope you can't hear my washing machine in the background, but you probably can. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh boy, I gotta pause the video and go mess with that. Okay, sorry about that. That's the washing machine acting up. All right, so we do the modulation here, put it to an LFO, and get it to the point. See, that's too extreme. And you just want to use your ear, so we're going to turn the strength down. Yeah, see, that might not be quite enough. Actually, let's adjust it in real time while we're hearing it. Turn the reverb off. Okay, see this sample has quite a big tail. Okay, I like that one. Why am I getting like doubled up notes there? Let's look at the MIDI itself. It's not like two little bursts of it, is it? Okay, where are you? Where are my dots? Up top here? What am I doing wrong here? I'm not the best at MIDI yet. I'm still learning. There we go. There they are. Okay. Were some of these doubled? No, those are single little blips. Single blips. Oh no, Oh, they are. Wow, okay. See, my ear was telling me that there was something wrong, and there was. So, trust your ear, man. Trust your ear. Alright, where the hell... Let me get those double... We want to get these out of here. Yeah, get those doubles out of there. That sounds terrible. I don't know how it got that. I guess just the way my gating was, or something. Are these like multiples in here? No. The other thing you can do is you can actually mess with the velocity and pitch. I try not to mess with pitch too much because it really can mess with the sound. But with this velocity, you can actually... Why isn't it letting me draw? I should be able to just draw. Like, there we go, okay. For some reason, this side does not let me draw. That's weird. So this velocity you can change just at random and make it more human. So let's see if that makes sense. I imagine if you get really far into this, you could go, one by one. And I just did those randomly, just to get a quick look at it. Alright, that's sounding pretty good to me. Let's turn the snare back. So maybe there is truth to that 4 dB. Find where you think the verb sounds good, and then go 4 dB less. That could be valid. Wow, there's something ugly about that kick that I'm just not... It's right there. It's that bump bump. Okay, so this is where you want to slice and try to just make it a little less jarring sounding as far as the timing. Maybe, and to me, this is probably only going to need like that much adjustment. Let's see here. Maybe the intent was for this to be like a quick double. Let's put it back to where it was and just listen critically inside the mix, because I think by itself it sounds awkward, but then inside the mix it sounded okay, which is weird. Thump thump thump. In the drums by themselves it sounds off. So it's possible that this so maybe it's this middle hit should line up over this snare. Maybe that's actually what we need to adjust. Let's see here. All right. So when you get this, just squeak it over there a little bit. There we go. Sounds maybe a little bit better. Maybe it's that this third one just doesn't need to be there or something. I guess I'm probably just going to leave it alone. It's one of those things that if it doesn't sound that bad in the mix, why mess with it too much? Bum bum bum. Unless I can just... I mean, now I'm hearing it because I'm focused on it, which is obnoxious, but we can just mute it. There is so let's do the same thing with the kick, and let's just get MIDI out. And on the drum effects kick trigger, we're gonna do output MIDI. That should do it. And we're gonna turn off the gate or the trigger, right? Yeah. Start further back than that. There we go. Control R.
There is good deep in water, looking far across to that westward shore. And no wonder.
Sorry about the ticking sound. I'm not sure how much of that comes through the mic. Alright, so it sounds awkward without the kick, doesn't it? That snare sounds. The snare sounds really unnatural without the kick to shore it up a little bit. Alright, so the same thing with the kick. We want to get rid of those sends, so we're just getting the MIDI now. So outside kick, this is all to the trigger. We're going to get rid of that. And our kick trigger goes to our kick bus. And drum bus. No. That should be it. I'm not going to send it to effects now because kick should never get, I don't think should ever get. Well, the thing is I've been doing distortion as an effect. So, but kick should never get reverb. Speaking of distortion, here we go. We've got some distortion here. Not getting much actual distortion. That trigger sounds super unnatural now, and it's that verb, I think, the snare verb. Let's see. Start backing it off. There we go. See how much of a difference? Put this click on here to give the kick a little more oomph, but the thing is I like to be able to dial it in, so I'm actually going to duplicate this, and I'm just going to get rid of this kick on here, and I'm going to get rid of the click on this one. Oops. So that way I can dial in the click sound and the thump of the kick. And that. I have to go look it down again because that. I have all these really, really fake ones. See, those sound terrible. I don't know what. I have to go look at. Let me look it down again because I found one that I was happy with. Alright, so I'm switching projects so that I can find which sample I used on. You know what? I think it was that I built the sample out of his own that might be what it is. Where are you? Where is the trigger? Drum kick trigger. Here it is. Okay, where is it? Oh man. See, this is a problem because yeah. So this is bad because I don't know which. So what I need to do is build one. We can do that real quick. It's not that hard. If you've never done this, this is a cool, quick lesson. I have to thank my partner for showing me how to do this one. Thanks, Josh. All right, so you want to find one of the kicks that you're happy with. One of the kicks that's nice and full. To turn this one on because now it's not going anywhere. Drum bus. Okay, that one's okay, but it has, you want to be careful because you want to get rid of any bleed. So that has snare bleed right there. So let's check this one. This one sounds really deep, but that might be some of our. Okay, so this is the outside drum I was calling it, the outside mic. It might be better to get an inside one. So let's see here. Yeah, that's probably the one we want. Yeah, that's right. So that's why it's sounding really artificial because I sampled from the actual drum kit that we recorded, which gives you a natural sound. It gives you a much cleaner, tighter, controlled sound. And bleed, you get rid of your bleed, but it retains the character of an acoustic hit because it is. It's exactly what it is. So we're going to actually slice this. I'm going to try to be precise about slicing this. And then you want to render this to an external file. So I'm going to cut this before I get any other waves. So, although maybe back here. It's once you get down to this level, when you get down to the point where you can see the samples, those are the actual individual samples. If you've never seen that and wondered what those are. Yeah, it's too hard to even tell what some of that stuff is, but I know for sure this big one is the snare. So there might be some cymbal sound in here, but yeah, see, we don't want that cymbal sound. We want to try to. Yeah, we'll see. We may have to EQ. Yeah, let's do this. So we're gonna slice it here, but then we're gonna maybe the crossfade will. Yeah, see how we got that ringing from the cymbal? This'll work. This'll work fine. Then we'll just add click to it to give it a snap on the front end, and we'll be good. So the thing, I want to say it's Control Alt. There it is. Okay, the way to tell is your tooltip. Your mouse, your cursor changes to something different, and then if you look down here, you get your tooltip down here, bottom left, and it'll change to. So this is telling me without doing anything, it's just moving it. I'm going to hold down Control. It makes copy. Holding down Alt, render item to new file. You just drag it, and then you go outside Reaper onto the desktop. Boom. There it is. We're going to rename this Inside Kick Westward Shore. Oops. Oh, man, that was so awful. That was like the worst. Okay, now I have cap locks on. Man. My issue right now is I have like 3 different external keyboards, and my hands have not adapted to changing position for each of them, so I'm always like typing in all caps and doing crazy stuff. All right, so we're gonna copy this, and we're gonna I want to put this in the project folder just in case. Whoa, what did I do there? Did I make a copy? Yeah. Copy. I'm going to do a copy of this and put it into the project folder, because if I ever zip this project up, which I am going to actually do probably at the end of the day, the end of this session. So, all right, we just made a sample, and let's undo the routing. We don't want to hear these anymore. This is the best method I could think of. It's a compromise between completely going artificial and trying to deal with the original drums, which they're awful. Because I'm not a professional mixer. I'm not or a recording engineer, that is. Either. I'm not either. I try not to be too hard on myself. I mean, we did okay. Ooh, look at Westward Shore. Westward. We did okay with the recording process for being amateurs, but I mean, it is rough. Lots of bleed and just all kinds of technical problems, mic placement and stuff. So that's it. You just drag it in like that, and then we should get a natural sound. Let's see here. Whoa. Okay. All right, now we have too much. Let's turn the kick up. We have too much click. Oops. So we're going to do kick. We'll call this kick snap. Okay, there's something about this I do not like at all. So it turns out that sounds artificial as hell too. Huh. Oh, that's why. Here, check this out. I have this transient controller turned on. I have the attack boosted and sustain reduced. So this really can help you shape it too. All right. So really with this, I'm going to leave this on for now. Both kind of have an artificial sound. So again, we can automate this. Let's do that real quick. LFO, too strong. Well, let's do centered. Turn our strength way down. Speed down. All right. So the idea of this is just to mimic the way a human kicks. I mean, if you have an amazing, outstanding drummer who's a pro and been doing it for years, they probably can modulate their kick strength and stuff perfectly. But okay, something is not right here. I don't know if I have something doubled up or I'm just getting like, maybe it's the velocity on this one. Let's look at our velocity here. Yeah, the velocity's way up, so let's just like, let's try turning that down. So it's funny because I use an acoustic sample. I just took a sample right out of the captures themselves, but it still sounds pretty artificial. You know what I bet it is? I bet it's the distortion. I bet that's what it is. That's got to be what it is. Let's turn the distortion off. There we go. It was the distortion. So that's a perfect example. Like you don't want to. There we go. All right, in the mix. And this snap might be a little too much. There it is without it. Just a light touch. Just so we can hear. So that's it. That's replacement right there. That's as noob as it gets. I mean, that's what the pros do. I mean, the thing is, what we would actually do next would be to like grid align all of this stuff instead of moving like individual ones. I'm not going to do that only because to a certain point it makes it super artificial. I think what Glenn Fricker would say is, okay, I'll take his example out of it. Another famous producer, I don't remember who it was, but I know it was on Dave Pensato's show. And what I remember about him is that he was an old school producer. Like, he's been doing it for, 40, 50 years. I can't remember. I want to say like Andrew Sheps or somebody really well established in the industry. Not an up and comer, not someone just, independently. They're a, institution, as you would say. What they said was, leave the dirt in there. As you're making these amateur recordings and stuff, don't be afraid to just leave some of the mistakes and human feel in there. Otherwise, it just sounds too fake. So replacing the samples, as you can see, gives it an artificial sound. It gives you much better control over the sound. That's my text thing popping up there. I forgot to mute it. And I don't even have Chrome open and it's still popping up. Wow. Let's get out of Chrome. Okay. So leave the dirt in there. You want it to sound human by replacing samples. Even with a sample from within the project, you can see that gives you an artificialness, and then coupled with the distortion and stuff. So I want to leave a little of the dirt in there. I'm not going to quantize and make everything perfectly on railroad, on rails, as they would say, like perfectly in tune and time, because then it takes the human sound out of it. It doesn't sound like a guy playing the drums. It just sounds like beat, 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 beat. I'm a robot drummer. So you want to have a fine touch with it. You want it to improve to a certain point where it's pleasing to the ear, but not to the point where it's like, ooh, what is this? Is this a drum machine band? So anyway, those are some parting words. Thank you for watching. That was episode 4 of Speed Mix with a Noob, and I will see you guys next time.